Our Castrol Activ champion today scored 13,289 runs with the bat. He averaged 55 plus. If he had done nothing else in the game, we would have said, wow, what a player. And then he took 292 wickets. And the biggest honor you can give Jacques Kallis is to say that he was the Garfield Sobers of our time. Sobers was a bit like that, averaged 57 with the bat, played some incredible innings and had a small matter of 235 wickets as well. Both Kallis and Sobers took a huge number of catches as well. They were brilliant fielders wherever they were. But there was another thing in common with Sobers. Both Kallis and Sobers actually started late. Now, Kallis got 100 in his 7th test match, but at the end of 10 test matches, he merely averaged 22. Sobers took 28 innings. He only got to his first 100, a mammoth 365, a record that stood for so long, in his 29th innings. So you've got to doff your hat to some people somewhere who saw class in them. I mean, I remember meeting friends in South Africa in those early days, and they would talk about Hansie Cronje, and they would say, yes, Cronje, a good player, but man, watch out for Kallis. And when Kallis finally got going, we watched a lot of Jacques Kallis. We in India certainly saw more of Kallis arrayed against us than we would have liked to. It was an incredible achievement to be a fast bowling all-rounder batting at number 4. So he's playing long innings and then he's a good enough 5th bowler to come in and take 290 plus test wickets. In many ways, Jacques Kallis was the spine of that South African side, and like the spine, he protected South African cricket. In fact, that entire South African test lineup, much like Castrol Activ Actibonds, protect your bike engine, whether running or off. As I said, India saw a lot of him. If there's one performance you wish to remember, it's probably the Cape Town Test of 2011. The series is level 1-1. Kallis has made a big 100 in the first innings, 160 odd. But India still had a chance of winning that. A rare series win was beckoning in South Africa. And then there he was, as stodgy as ever. He stood there and he said, the game isn't over till I finish. And he made 109 not out. South Africa saved that test match, and India still haven't won a test series in South Africa after that. And then his last series, 2013 against India, he finished off with a century as well. They say about great players, don't they, that they go when people are saying, did he still have something left in him? Jacques Kallis had a lot left in him, but he just decided this was it, and he retired with a magnificent record behind him. This was only Jacques Kallis, the test match player. Kallis in one-day cricket produced some great performances as well, and played many, many years in the IPL, and then returned after his retirement to be such a vital part of Kolkata Knight Riders. The relationship between Kallis and KKR was always special, and when it was clear that Kallis could no longer be a T20 player who was worthy of being called Kallis, they asked him, can you continue with the club in another role? And then he became a mentor, and then he became a coach, and then you saw his influence along with Dinesh Karthik in that season in 2018, when so many young players were coming through the ranks. For them to be sitting in the same dugout as Jacques Kallis and telling them what to do and how to go about things would be a magnificent education. The great players continue protecting the game long after they are done with playing it. Much like Castrol Activ Actibonds, keep protecting your bike engine, whether it's running or off. Here's something for you to think about as well. I believe if Jacques Kallis was either English or Australian or Indian, we would have put him on a much higher pedestal than the cricket world looks upon him. He was unassuming, but his records were huge. And I just think sometimes in our part of the world, in England, Australia, the media just makes you out to be such a big player. I think Kallis would have been talked about even more than he actually is. Was he South Africa's best ever? You don't know the players before, through the 40s, 50s, 60s. There were some mighty players there, but they didn't have careers as long as Kallis's. And I think it would stand up to scrutiny if I said Jacques Kallis was South Africa's best ever cricketer. Kallis may no longer be a test match cricketer or a one-day cricketer or an active cricketer, but he's still playing a big part in the game that means so much to all of us. He's a worthy Castrol Activ champion.